We have Sophie and Coach sorry. Coach will start with an opening statement. We'll take a couple of questions for Sophie, and then we'll let her go. Coach will answer questions. So, Coach, when you're ready.
Credit to Louisville. They really did some incredible things. They're definitely sixth in the country, and I said earlier, there's a team in our conference that I think can get to a Final Four, and it's Louisville. I think they are talented and young. They got leaders that transferred over to them that leads them and hit really big shots when they need the bleeding to stop, and credit to them, but credit to our team. We were down 20, and then we cut it to 5, and then the fouls piled up on us, and I thought we were really rolling with a roar in there, and they gave that ghost foul at the end, and we had a sitter, and the bottom fell out. So I like what we're growing. I like what our attendance looks like. I like our energy that's creating synergy. But today, the better team won.
Take questions for Sophie, Justin.
Sophie, just going forward, what gives you confidence that you guys can beat a team like Louisville down the stretch of the season?
I mean, we all watched that second quarter. I think that really was Syracuse basketball at its finest, and that's how we need to play for 40 minutes if we want to play with teams like Louisville. And I think we're more than capable. We just need to come out from the start and play that way.
Yeah.
Sophie, the school honored a woman today who thrived when women had no support. As a young woman athlete, when you sort of look at your big game environment, are you more like inspired by what you see, or are you disappointed that there's not more?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Like support for you guys having a good season, playing a top team. Like, are you pleased with the big game environment, or do you get disappointed by it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the crowd was amazing today. They stuck around through that first quarter, and then they helped us get back into it in that second quarter. And, coming back into the tunnel after the game, there was so many little girls that we saw, like, they just wanted to give us a high five. They were so excited to be there, and I think that really keeps you pushing and keeps you wanting to kind of perform for the crowd and for the Syracuse community, because, they're always supporting us, and we want to give back to them in that way.
Sophie, you guys struggled in the first quarter with Louisville's ball pressure. Was there anything that they did specifically that threw you guys off your rhythm?
I think we just didn't come out and throw the first punch. We always talk about how we want to be the one to throw the first punch, and I think they just hit us first. And I think that comes down to the confidence that we have in each other and we have in ourselves. And I think we need to know that we can play with these great teams like Louisville, and just need to come out from the start and really play Syracuse basketball. I don't necessarily think that they specifically did anything to kind of take out that lead. I think we kind of hurt ourselves in that sense.
Yeah, Sophie, just what changed in that second quarter that you think gave you guys a little bit of life?
I think we calmed down a little bit, obviously a bit of nerves coming into the first quarter, and I think, we calmed down a little bit. We started executing offensively, we started talking defensively, we went back to the basics, and, it got us back into the game.
Kind of like building off those nerves, I guess how nerve-wracking is it to kind of, host a team like Louisville who is, top 10 in the country?
I mean, me personally, I always kind of just look at it as another basketball game. I try not to look at the opponent and think, they're ranked or whatnot. So for me, it's another basketball game. I just like to play basketball, so I'm going to go out there and do everything I can to help the team win. But obviously, we've got some younger players on the team, and, this is a pretty new team, and this is a lot of the first times we've played together as a group. So I think, there can be nerves in that sense, but I think Coach Jack did a really good job of hyping us up before the game and kind of instilling that confidence in us, and we just need to really take that on and, bring it into the first quarter.
How valuable is it to have an experience like that now, versus, sometime in March perhaps?
Oh, it's so important. I think, playing in my freshman season, playing in the NCAA tournament, I've never played in a crowd like that. So then to have kind of that energy around the game like we did today, it gets us ready for those games later on in the season.
A couple more questions for Sophie. We're going to final man.
Sophie, that can be a team that's very challenging to guard. How do you kind of get in a place where you're disciplined and can guard a team like that for 4 quarters?
I mean, we have our coaches doing amazing scout all week, and we go through practice, we play game speed the whole time, really trying to nail in what they're going to do and how we're going to play to stop that. But I think, we can't play into this is what they're going to do, this is what this specific player does. We kind of just have to keep playing Syracuse basketball and knowing our principles, and what we're going to do to like play our basketball, and then at the end of the day, that should be enough to, you know, stop any team.
Any more questions for Sophie?
Thank you so much.
Hey,
We'll take questions for Coach Jeff.
Coach Dominique was perfect from the field today. She shot 7 for 7, but also racked up 8 turnovers. How do you find the balance with a star player like that and holding onto the ball and being disciplined with it, but also being able to be that shot scorer?
You let her play free, and it comes with that. That's what the society wants you to do. You want them kids to be perfect, and you let them fail in the middle of the world to see, and she's gonna bounce back better. And you don't do anything different other than give her the freedom to become. And we talk about the one-handed pass. It's what she does, and the more she does it, I have to take her out. But I'm not saying you can't do it, but I gotta take you out if you do it. But I need her to know that she got my full support on her being free out there, because what she did was brought us back to within 5 points as well. And so I love her tenacity of purpose.
kind of, you know, building off what Sophie was saying, did you kind of see any pregame nerves, you know, coming into this one from your team?
Of course you're gonna have that. They're kids, right? You see the number 6 against somebody's name, you're gonna really wanna show the world, show the mirror that you're the best person, the best team, the best university, and everybody gets credit when you go out and beat the number 6. And you gotta be not human to not know that. And so, of course, you're gonna be a little bit more, you know, nervous about that situation. And you just try to figure out if the first shot goes in, it's a little bit different. This first shot didn't go in until second quarter. So yeah, that really kind of, you know, pinged us a little bit.
And what can your team kind of learn, you know, from an experience like this today?
Oh, we're gonna learn every day, man. We learned about, you know, our fans here. They were just amazing. They just were all about it. And we lose, and the game's been over for easily the last 6 minutes. And I looked in the eyes of our fans, and there were some tears. They're emotionally attached to our women's basketball program. That's beautiful. And that gives us more responsibility to know that there's people out there that really believe in what we're trying to do, and it's just gonna make us go back to the drawing board and give even 1 more % better.
Coach, you guys climbed back in the second quarter, and a lot of it was getting steals and turning into easy baskets on the other end. Was there any, what were you guys seeing on the defensive side and their offense kind of that helped you get into those passing lanes better, and what was kind of that adjustment from the late first
The
quarter?
nerves came, they kind of went away a little bit, and they just said, you know what, we got nothing to lose, let's turn them a little bit. Oh, look what I got, you know? It's just a simple game. I can get as technical as you want to get, because I've been around it for 40 years, but at the end of the day, they just felt a little bit more comfortable to take a chance and realize that they're human, they're not superhuman, and let's see what happens if I give them a little bit more pressure. And that's what we did.
Coach, you've done a really amazing job this year finding people in the transfer portal and finding Uche and having a strong season. What do you need to take it to like a Louisville type of level as a program, do you think?
We got to get more people like Uche. We got the people see us. We got the #1 kids in the country coming to visit us, and we got to be able to lock them in. And I just believe that if corporate America and our community really buy into what I'm trying to do and really start helping me with NIL. There's people, certainly people are helping us now. We need more of that. You know, Jeff's numbers look way different than our numbers, but at the end of the day, we got to continue to, you know, to be honest, it's money, but it's also the way people respect what they have. You know, you get on social media, and you would think that somebody beating kids in the locker room, the way our fan base on social media comes after some of my colleagues. You don't see that with Louisville. You don't see that with North Carolina. You don't see that at Duke. You don't. I mean, yeah, we're having bad years in some sports, but do you have to say every time with a paragraph of negativity? This place, I mean, we built it at Buffalo. but everybody believed in the build, and everybody supported. And I think that's what we gotta get first. If we don't get a nickel, we gotta get people to buy into the fact that this is Syracuse University. This is a global school. This is an incredible academic institution. And guess what? We're gonna fly around in sport. We're gonna really do our best. And I know that we wanna be great. I was here when it was great. I was here when we were going Sugar Bowls, Fiesta Bowls, and I was here when we were, challenging in the Big East Championship. But I just never seen it get so negative here. What happened? We gotta stop that part first. Yeah, people are having bad years. We got it. Yeah, you're sad because your child can't see them win. I understand that. But can you lift the person up too? And that's what I think we got to get back to that. We just never had that when, I think Jake Crowhammer was here for 100 years. And I mean, we just felt like we all had a chance because the custodian would be like, hey, hang in there. You got this. Now you got a custodian saying, you got this. I'm just joking on that part, but come on. So yeah, we got to get the corporate dollars, but we got to press in with positivity. We get it. We see it. We all watch. But can you try, Syracuse? Can we try to be a little bit more positive with the sport that's struggling? Because last I checked, I came here. My mama sent me here to get an education that sustained me for 59 years now. And it's a great institution. It's a great, people come here from all over the world because it's a great school. And then we play a little sport too. And yes, I'm downplaying a little bit, and it's a responsibility for all the stuff that they give us, certainly. But what you tweet is who you are, and your child is watching you just like he's watching us. Sorry, I went on my tangent, but I had to say that.
Have you talked to?
We're gonna go Sam. Sam, you have a question?
Since you went down that path, the fact that Syracuse was at a certain
I was here.
Do you think that people have a certain frustration?
Absolutely. And the first 47 times you sent something out on tweet, we saw that frustration. And we get it. We get it. And one thing I can tell you about my colleagues, and they really want to help us be successful. But you tweeting out negative stuff saying, not you brought it, so I'm bringing it to you. You saying stuff like that, what is that going to do? It's going to build me up? I'm coaching a kid, right? You're not good. You're terrible. You sucked the last game. I can't believe you on this team. Now go win the game for me. You think that's what's going to make a coach better or a team win more? Or, hey, we lost this game and we loved it when it was in the 80s. We just was the best. And I know we want to win, but just keep trying, son. Keep trying, daughter. We're going to support you. We're not going to support you. We're not going to do anything. But you saying negative stuff I just don't remember when negativity won the war. And that's my position. Nobody told me to say it. I might get cursed out, yelled at by people because I just don't think negative wins. I'm coming from the ghetto. I'm coming from nothing. I'm coming from my mom having to borrow from the next door neighbor, and she still smiled. And I never seen her cry except from when her mama passed away. And she let us know that you get them with the positive, trust all, and lean not on your understanding. He will. All that, was raised that way. I'm not changing my stance. Yes, I was here. Rudy Hackett, all those guys, the Louis and Bowie show. I know all those guys. I know, you name them, I saw them. They sat in my mama's living room. I'm like, Mom, we can't got no food for ourselves, but she had a plate for them too. So don't tell me about you grew up doing this stuff when I lived it too. So that's one person's on the fence. It's just one. Negative or positive. I'm asking him or her to choose positive. That's it.
Take a couple more questions about tonight's game.
Today's game was special for more than one reason.
Yeah.
And stats matter, winning and losing matters, but not to the little girls that were in your stands today. Tell me what the message is to take from this for those little girls that are just here to watch Dominique Darius put that ball in the basket.
That's where we're at. That's where I'm at. That's why I coach. That's why I've been coaching for 40 years. Because that little kid in the stand who never saw basketball or sport before, she's watching how to become. And it's our responsibility to give her our best effort. And, you know, I used to run a camp here, Say No to Drugs, when I worked for the Housing Authority. And we didn't keep the score. And we just let them fly around and be free. And I think that's what the kids need to see. And I think that they see that in our team. And I just think that eventually the score is going to matter. And the score doesn't add up to more points. You're going to get fired. I know. I lived that too. But while we have the chance to show a little girl or a little boy what it looks like to become, let's show them more positive than negative. That's my whole point. Thank you for that question.
Last question for Coach Smith.
Coach, your team has shown a lot of improvement this year in your 5 games left in the regular season. Now, what are you looking for from your team
More.
to finish the season here?
More. I'm just looking for more. I'm looking for more energy, more less fear, more connectedness, more sisterhood. I want this team to be with me all the way through April. I don't want this to end. I love these 15 kids. They are absolutely amazing young ladies that's trying to be phenomenal. They're hurting in that locker room right now. They really try to represent Syracuse in the best way they could. They just fell short. They weren't good enough today. And that's the truth. You got to tell them the truth too, right? And I think that they're going to understand come Monday is off. I guarantee you every single one of them will be in the gym because they really want to make this place proud. And then on Tuesday we get together, we're going to figure out how to beat Pittsburgh, and then we're going to get after that. And then on Friday we're going to try to figure out how to beat Clemson. But I tell you one thing, they're hurting right now. And we got to figure out how long you're going to stay that way, because you can go way down and not come back up, or you can stay real high and then fall short. So I really am excited about 5 games going into ACC, having an opportunity to have success, and then get that AC and win 1 game. I haven't won a game yet in the ACC tournament, so we got to figure out how to do that as well. And then let's put some dancing shoes on and let's celebrate what we've done since June. Thank you guys so much for all the respect and the support that you do. Please don't think that I'm yelling at anybody. Please don't think I'm trying to say negate what you need to do. You guys have a job to do, right? And you're going to do it well. And I'm not asking you to say nice things all the time, but every now and again, just throw a comment in there saying, as bad as it looked, these kids left it out there. Job well done. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.